All right. Felix Hernandez, and I'm going to give Todd Zola credit. Felix Hernandez has agreed to a $1 million non-roster contract. He is now known as the Chief. He's no longer King Felix. This is Todd Zola's. I'm not stealing it from Todd. He is now known as Chief Felix, not King Felix. Okay. Now, speculation is running around about Chris Bryant and the this Arizona team. You know, they trade Greinke, they trade Goldschmidt. Who else did they trade? They're trading these players, and you think they were rebuilding, and now there's talk that Arizona, and Arizona appears to be in on every player. Okay, they're not a big market team, but they're a wild card in anything that you want to do. Okay, I mean, Madison Bumgarner signs with Arizona after they get rid of Zach Greinke. Okay, so, unbelievable. They're interested in Chris Bryant, who's expected to make about $18.5 million. Okay, so look, reading that a couple of places. Mike Hazen and Theo Epstein are likely have the pieces. They're comfortable in dealing. But they play that game. They're both shrewd. So let me tell you what's going on. Major League Baseball, I don't know about how legitimate all these talks are, but we'll see. One other thing about the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, I just had this in my... Manny Ramirez was suspended twice for steroids. Bonds and Clemens were not suspended one single day, or they didn't fail one drug test. I don't get it. Omar Vizquel had 11 gold gloves and 2,800 hits. Only Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente did that. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't get it. And, of course, we know all about Bonds and the whole thing. So, again, I'm saying that I still don't know if I want to put the steroid guys in there. But once again, I will say, and then we'll end it with that, and get on to some of the other things that are more important. I would say very clearly that the New York Mets, not the Mets, that that's what happens when you get old. I would say very clearly that the Hall of Fame should be more of a museum than anything else, okay? Let's go to the FSGA draft as we're following that slowly. And you're talking about some endgame picks. Endgame picks. And Kyle Tucker was taken in the 13th round. He was taken as the 10th pick by Chris Towers of CBS Sports. Don't forget, this is a 14-team league. Impossible for a 14-team league. Now, Tucker, as you all remember, I may have been the only one who was down on Kyle Tucker when I saw him in the Arizona Fall League. I'll say that he'll hit 275 with 15 to 19 home runs and 10 stolen bases if he gets the chance. He's the big 6'4", 200-pounder, but still, that's not great. I never said he was terrible. He always swings and keeps two hands on the bat. To me, he looks absolutely off balance. Okay? But they, look, the Astros, I don't know what they're going to do, but they did stick by Josh Reddish. But look, he got some playing time in September. He was stuck in AAA. He had over 500 plate appearances. Okay, he could put up, they say, he was even leading the Pacific Coast League in stolen bases. So, everybody's still high on him. He's only 23. I'm not that thrilled with Kyle Tucker, but I'm not saying at this stage of the game, I would probably say absolutely you could draft Kyle Tucker. C.J. Cron is almost, it's unbelievable. Because of, he's just got that name. And he was drafted in our league, but CJ is now on the Detroit Tigers. He will hit you 23, 24, 25 home runs. He won't kill you in the batting average with a 250. He was drafted, at the end of this draft. Okay? So the Twins let him go because he was going to make about $7 million. Now, this is what you want to see. When there are players that are let go because they make too much money, not because they're not good. Okay? He had 17 home runs before the All-Star game. Then he had a thumb injury early in July, tried to play through it, the whole thing. He needed some surgery done on it, blah, 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 blah. But C.J. Cron was taken in the 14th round. 25 to 30 home runs. You know he's going to play in Detroit. C.J. Cron. Now let's talk about somebody that I believe Andrea took, and that's Aquino. I don't even know what his name is, but Aquino. Aquino. All right? AQ, from Cincinnati. Orestes Aquino. Where did he go in this draft? I'll tell you in a second. He didn't go too high. Okay? He didn't go too high. He went down. He's a guy who you can draft in the. He was taken in round 15 by Anthony Perry. Now, why did he take him in round 15? And then we'll get to the Mets in a second. He'll hit 250. He may hit 20 to 25 home runs and still hit 10 bases. But he wrote the record book in the first month. Tied Trevor Story most home runs through a player's first 10 games. It's the live ball era, right? He became the quickest ever to 10 home runs. He broke Cody Bellinger's record for the most home runs in a single month, and he was disastrous in September. Disaster. So which Aquino do you like? Will he be playing every day? That's what you're going to look at. They're talking about being interested in Ozuna. Well, right now they got Shogo Akiyama, who could play every position. Nick Senzel in center field. Jesse Winker, Phillip Ervin, Josh Van Meter could play the outfield, and Orestes Aquino. It's crowded. He's going to have to be good if he wants to stay in the lineup. And then let's give you a little bit of David Dahl. Now, how many of you people like David Dahl? I mean, who likes David Dahl? Anybody like David Dahl? Colorado. For the last couple of years, we've been thinking of David Dahl as, David Dahl. I'll go over my team, I think. I don't know if I'll have enough time to do my team today, but we'll do it tomorrow. So, who likes David Dahl? How much are we spending on DeRay K is here. Good morning. Traveler, Zelmo. Good morning, fellas. David Dahl. We've been waiting for Arlene Dahl, married to Leo DeRocha. There you go. Dahl can't stay healthy. Dahl can't stay healthy. Remember that. But he's about to become a star. He's not a social media guy. He made his first All-Star. He made the All-Star game last year, 2019. All-Star. He's not Arenado. He's not Blackman. He's not Story. Yet. And he went ridiculously low in this draft. I'm trying to find him, but he didn't go too high. All right? And yet he could be a top, here he is, round 13 in a 14-team league. Now, David Dahl, and let me tell you, and then we're going to hit the Mets right after this. I won't talk about my team. Okay, I'll talk about my team tomorrow. But David Dahl, because the draft will be over, so yeah, I'll wait till tomorrow. He turns 26. The swing just produces. He hit 300 in 219. He hit 353 on-base percentage. 15 home runs in 400 plate appearances. The injuries. His latest one was a high right ankle sprain. Ended his year after 100 games. But still, okay? He's got the same, he kind of reminds me of Matt Holliday at the same age. Okay? So David Dahl is someone who I predict is going to emerge. Absolutely going to emerge. Don't forget David Dahl. Okay, now let's get to what you've been waiting for. The New York Mets. All you Met fans on the True Met Fans website, Bill Bernstein, who calls me every big Met. Oh, my goodness gracious. The Mets, all right, so the Mets, if you look for what really, I'll use the word torpedoed. All right, how about that? If you're looking for the one word that torpedoed the Mets, it was bullpen. Edwin Diaz, Jeurys Familia. There are many ways to measure bullpen destruction. Blown saves is the easiest. It doesn't tell the whole story. Diaz blew 7 saves. Lugo 5. Familia and Gesellman 4. Tyler Bachelor had 3. Who the hell is Tyler Bachelor? Okay, but it was more than that. The Met relievers were never in command. No matter who was on the mound or who was the pitching coach, it didn't matter. The bullpen must gain the confidence of the starters, and Dellin Betances could have a big thing to go into that. All right, let's just, we'll save Dellin for in a minute. But the defense, you got Marisnik, you got Cespedes. Did you see the video of Cespedes running and hitting? Holy mackerel. Conforto and right. Robinson Cano needs to be more active at second base as he gets older. Ahmad Mazzario made a tremendous difference. Put this guy at leadoff and you have a star. I draft Ahmad Mazzario. I didn't even have a position. I put him at DH. I just wanted him. Okay? I just wanted him. Mazario's going to hit 20 homers, steal you 25 bases. I also drafted Steven Matz. He needs to separate himself from Rick Porcello and Michael Wacha. Jake DeGrom is right there, that we know. Noah Syndergaard. Too much talent to be mediocre. Okay, issues with Wilson Ramos. But here's the big thing. You can see pictures of Syndergaard dipping his fingers into the catch, into his own glove, and putting substance on it. You can see it. Just all you gotta do is go on what do you call it? Google. Just Google it. Syndergaard dipping fingers in, using a substance. I think it got into his head, and just like stealing of the signals in Major League Baseball, Syndergaard was never called out. You didn't see a manager come out of the dugout, say timeout, look at his fingers, because everybody's doing it. So any manager who comes out to complain about Syndergaard would have put his pitchers in jeopardy because they all have stuff. And Trevor Bauer says, what a difference it makes, okay? So let's talk about Dellin Betances for a second. Let's talk about Dellin Betances. You get Dellin Betances and, as I said, Drew Pomerantz, you got one hell of a starting pitcher there, okay? But it's 2 of them. Betances, it's all about his health. He insisted recently that he's ready to go. Ready to go. He's healthy. Combine him with Edwin Diaz, Seth Lugo, Justin Wilson, and Jeurys Familia, and Brad Brack, and Robert Gesellman. This group has the potential to be one of the best bullpens in baseball. One of the best. Last year, it had almost a 5 ERA with 27 blown saves. All right? So I'm making a statement here. Okay? Making a statement. And I'm a Met fan, but okay. So it's typical in the off season, as far as throwing wise and preparation. The only thing is he has to work a lot harder now because he's got to gain back the strength that he had. That's what he's got to do. Gain back the strength. So, look, he's ready to go. He says, I'm healthy, ready to go. Everybody says that. When's the last time you saw a player who says, I don't feel well? No. So, I'm going with a positive on Dellin Betances. Do not be afraid to draft him. Most people are just overlooking him. Now, here's the thing. According to Brad Lynch, excellent personality to listen to, Edwin Diaz, the Mets don't need to do anything with their bullpen. What happened? Can he get back to his 2018 form? Okay. He's a fastball slider pitcher, and all of a sudden he started giving up a lot of home runs on the slider.